All right. So we stopped with time series plot last time, and we're going to do a problem here. So the first thing first, um, run all the cells above. All right. Okay. All right. So we plotted stock prices of 4 or 5 different companies last time. All right. So now let's. This one is going to be read volume of stock trade from the data file volume.csv, and then we need to create some plots. Okay. So first thing is to read the data, say vol df pd read CSV, and I believe it's in data volume. Let's take a look at volume and see how it is set up. Okay. So here the first column is, well, it doesn't have a name because the first line starts with a comma. So there is no name there for the first column. And the date is it's a trading day numbers. So we have the year, 4-digit, month, 2 digits, and then the day, 2 digits. Okay. And then there is the time. The time element is what is going to mess things up when we plot sometimes. Okay. So we need to make sure that this first column gets read with just the 3 elements, year, month, and the date. And then if you promote the date as the index for this data set, then plotting becomes easier. You have some more functionality. We're not going to get into time series plotting because that's the entire subject by itself in forecasting. We don't have time for that. So, but just let me say that it's a good idea to promote the time as index. So that's what we have to do first. Okay, so let's say data, all right, volume dot CSV. Okay, and then let's look at info of that. Let's see, there is an error. Okay, I have a typo in the name. Volume. Okay, so the first column, okay, needs to be renamed. So so we say rename, okay, columns equal to, then there are several ways of achieving this. Okay, what we want is just that one, so we can specify a dictionary, so the old name and the new name. So dictionary will be the old name. Old name is that. Okay. And then give a new name. So let's say trade date or something like that. Okay, so the data will get read, and then you'll have then we are renaming the first column. Okay, let's look at info again. I think I may need an in place here. Okay, so I have that converted. Now that's an object. Okay, so everybody with me? Okay, so now we need to change this to date. So trade date equal to PD to date time. Okay, that will convert. So we do, and then we specify format. Okay, so the format has to be that. So what it's for 4-digit year, that is uppercase Y, and then a hyphen 2-digit month hyphen 2-digit day. Okay, so that should do it. And now that's date time now. Okay, and then we have to do set index, right? Trade date. All right. Okay, and in place equal to true. Okay, so we need in place equal to true, and now that trade date is now the index. Okay, so date time index. Okay, so it's there, and the actual columns are now the 9 companies. Oh, there are some indexes here. So, all right. So now we have read the data and prepared the data that we need to be able to plot time series plots. Now we are ready to do the plotting. Okay? Everybody good? Okay. Next, create a time series plot for volume of trade for IBM stock. So we want just for one. So again, we need to create, and again, there are several ways of doing this, and this is just one of them. So we're going to create a figure and an axis at the same time using subplots, PLT subplots. Okay, and then we can give a figure size if you like. Okay, so I'll just leave it like that for now. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we need to plot, line plot. So we use the axis object name which we have selected as AX. So AX dot plot, and it is IBM. Okay, so this that is IBM, all uppercase. Okay. Object has no attribute. Oh, I have. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, and then of course you need to do formatting. Okay, we'll do plot show. Now we can add color, and so like D. I don't know whether that. Yeah. So now we have blue, and then dash for line type, and diamond for marker type. So the 3-character string for formatting line, there are 2 aspects to line. Okay, the type of line and the color of the line, and then the marker shape. Okay. See, plot the trading volume of American Airlines, GE, and Microsoft. So when you have more than one, then you can just repeat it in the same plot. Okay, so like this. Let me copy paste. Okay, so one is what? American Airlines. And what's the other one? GE. Say we say red and just default, and then the S&P index. So blue and I don't know. Okay. Now we can give a label here. Okay. So label is AA. Label equal to GE, and label equal to SPX, right? So when you plot more lines on the same plot, then it's a good idea to have a legend to show which color represents what data. And that's what this label is used for. Okay. And then you have to show the legend. Okay, once you give the legend, you have to show the legend. Okay, so then, and you can specify where the legend should go, all of that here. Okay, but if you just leave it like that, then it will locate the legend the best place. And we already talked about the location, possible values for location earlier, right? So these are the codes, right, for the line formatting, and here is the legend location codes you can use. Okay. All right. Any questions? Now, instead of doing it in this fashion, we can do it in a more concise way. Okay, instead of repeating these one after the other. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to copy that code. Okay. So we start with a list, right? So let's call it stock list. Okay. And then say GE, and then what? SPX. Okay. Then instead of saying, instead of using each of these one by one, we can plot all three together by specifying the stock list here. Okay. Stock list. Then in that case, you leave it up to, if you don't specify any format, then Python will automatically select its default format, one for each of them. Or you can have another list. You can have a list of formats and use the list of formats here. But we will look at an example of that later. And here for label now, you use the stock list. Right? So for each possible value, so you'll have a line. Okay, so A, G, E, and SPX. So this is a more concise form of code instead of the previous one. So it pretty much does the same thing. Okay, more concise, and you can even control. You can have even finer control of the format by having another format list here. You could do that. Okay. Any questions?